Hello, beautiful people. I got a special guest here today, as you may have seen from the title. We got Ultimate Kahuna. Say hi to everybody.
Hey guys, everyone who's here, millions of you left and right.
all the names.
Oh yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah. So how you doing today, man?
Oh, good man. Like I love my kids, man, but every now and again, when I like the 3 days every 2 weeks, my ex-wife has them. It's a nice little break every now and again.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been a great weekend. Went to church, got a lot of work done, cleaned up a bunch of stuff in the backyard, got a lot of projects done, or at least more progress on them. What about you, man?
I've had a long day of working and freaking getting stranded after work when my car broke down.
I heard about that, man. You guys were given like live tweet updates.
Yeah. Well, I don't want anybody to like read about it later and then like start stressing about it after I'm already home and safe and stuff. So.
Oh no, it's a good thing to do. That's like when I was in Hawaii recently. I would only be getting reception maybe once every 3 or 4 days when I would go into the middle of the island. And so I'd be like, all right, guys, I have to take like 10 minutes and update everyone and then get back to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Have you heard anything from Hawaii on that whole situation?
A lot of people are pissed off at a couple of the wealthier individuals living over there.
I've heard some stuff.
Yep, in the bill to send money to Hawaii, to the people of Lahaina and West Maui who were affected by this.
Yeah,
it's like you all get $700. Also, in that bill, we're sending another $20 billion or million to the Ukraine.
Yep,
just thrown in there.
Yeah. So, are like the locals there pretty pissed about that then?
Yeah. There's a violence in the undercurrent of things going on over there.
So because our government is so pro-war, they lost Hawaii.
They're losing it fast, man. Like even people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he's as Hawaiian as they get. He grew up most of his life over there. A lot of his family's Hawaiian, or more like, as Hawaiian as you get nowadays. There are almost no like full-blooded Hawaiians anymore, but yeah. Like when I say he's Hawaiian, he's like Hawaiian and then like Samoan, black, and kind of like whatever else. It's like I've only ever met one guy who was fully like 100%.
Yeah, you gotta treasure like those little remnants of culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And like even you're a music guy, so like musically over there, I talked to a couple talent seekers who went over there, and they said there's a gold mine of untapped, untrained musical talent there that we've never seen anywhere else. Like those people, they really have a thing for music.
There's just special people in general. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if it's like island life or just the vast, long-spanning culture, or what it is. I don't know what it is. But like, just it really seems in like multiple ways, just a bunch of special people.
Really, I'd agree with that. I was born on Maui, and I think part of it is there is the heritage of the island people, which even like people my age living over there, island people have mostly forgotten about. And even my cousin, he's like in his early 20s, and he doesn't give a rat's ass about anything really, unfortunately. But there is that even subconsciously in some of those people. And then if you're not from there, you're not a local, and you move there, that says something kind of special about you too. Yeah. Like it takes a kind of interesting person to make the choice to go live on a tropical island, especially if they've never done it before.
Well, and not to mention it's an island like formed basically from like a volcano, right?
Oh, no doubt. Like
100%.
100%. Like Molokini off of Maui, it's this like little half moon, a strip of land that kind of goes like this, and it's just the rim of a volcano that never quite got beyond just half of the rim of the volcano breaching the surface. So it's like a natural coral spot.
That's cool. Pretty cool. So it's like unless the whole thing evolves into like another continent, or like how long can it really last? You know what I mean? It's just like a little island too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's different islands, like the big island of Hawaii, which I haven't been to since I was a young child. It's roughly the size of Pierce and King County, close to where I live. So it some of the islands are pretty large. They're not going to be sunk by the sea. Like even on Maui, you have Haleakala, and that's over 10,000 feet in elevation, straight from sea level.
Oh, that's cool. Dang, that's like a mountain.
Oh, it's a real mountain. It's the steepest 40-mile stretch of paved road in the entire U.S.
So Florida's gone first. First.
And I feel bad for everyone living there. We have a lot of Iron Agers living in Florida, and a lot of people like part of the channel and such. And it's like, man, if I didn't mind the heat, I wouldn't mind living there, or Idaho. There's Texas. There's a few places looking a lot better than Washington right now.
Yeah. Florida gets a bad rep, but like they came through, I don't know, recently. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like looks better and better to live there.
Well, yeah, it's like I'm like you. Like I imagine you like to spend some time outdoors. I'm a bit of an outdoorsman and all that jazz. Oh, so where are you and the lovely wife located, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, where? Say that again.
Oh, where are you and the lovely wife located, if you don't mind me asking?
Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Minnesota. There you go.
Yeah. Minnesota.
Yeah. It's so funny to me. Like, there's a couple of states where I've met people and made friends, and I'm like, there's a little Canadian in you somewhere. I can hear it in your voice a little bit.
Yeah. Is it like a lot of people say it's just like the way I pronounce certain words?
Yeah. Certain emphasis on certain consonants and vowels, and kind of elongations or shortenings of words, things like that. Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and give a shout out to Stormcrow quick. He says he has school tomorrow and work.
Oh, he's in Florida, so it's late for him.
Yeah, as soon as we mentioned Florida, he's like, okay, all right.
You called?
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, and because I'm doing it on my phone, I can't see any of the comments. So if anything fun pops up, just you can pop it on screen. It's fine.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I pulled it up. And did you see that when I pulled it up?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, Stormcrow, have a good night, brother. Peace out.
Yeah, you have a good night, man. Stormcrow's the dude.
He would definitely ruffle some people's feathers if you don't know him that well, but he's a good kid. I like him.
Yeah. You gotta yeah. Yeah. He once you get past all like that exterior that he puts on,
the kind of shock factor,
then you have like this insightful layer.
Nice. The sincere striving person underneath. It's
like,
it's a beautiful.
Here's the crow when the storm is peeled back.
Yeah. Take him out of the bad weather, and it's a good time.
Yeah, he just wants peanuts, and just chill on your shoulder and corn. No, man. It's cool. You and I talk. He likes to call me, and we talk about stories quite a bit. And he has a lot of ambition in that area, and I'm proud of him, man. He's working on it, and he's gonna go somewhere sometime. I myself was a pretty ambitious kid, so I can spot it.
Yeah. For me, man, it's kind of weird. Like I was when I was younger, like a young teenager and such. I was gonna move out when I was 16. Good family, nothing about that. I wanted to live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And
why wouldn't you? Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm gonna move there. I've lined up a job. I've lined up a place I can live during the week when I'm going to school, and then I'll live with grandma the rest of the time. It's a good time. And then I met a girl, and damn it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I get that.
No.
Yeah. No. Well, you got family ties there still, right? So.
Yep. We have my grandma Jenny. She's lived there since 1964. A long time ago. When she moved there, there was on Maui. There was nothing there. They didn't. When she got a ticket to go there, they're like, "Why are you going there?" And then she got there, and all the people working in the sugarcane fields and in the whaling village were like, "Yeah, what are you doing here, lady? There's like you're 6 foot. You're a 6 foot tall white lady from Michigan. What are you doing here?"
I'm Hawaiian now.
Pretty much, man. She met my grandpa over there. She married him 2 weeks later.
Oh, that's amazing. Reminds me of me and my wife.
Except that they were terrible together and they're not together anymore. But
that doesn't remind me of me and my wife.
No, not at all. No, you guys are one of those cool like COVID love stories. One of the few ones that I've heard that are actually like positive and good. It's good for you guys. I'm excited for you guys, man.
Yeah, we kind of bunkered in as the world was falling apart. Fast tracked like a lifetime together during a pandemic. So
yeah, you guys talked about that the last stream a little bit, and I sent in a couple questions. And no, you guys have a cool story, man. It's kind of funny because like you guys were like right here, kind of like going up, and then like my wife and I were like here. It's like we passed going opposite directions in the same period of time.
Yeah, there's a lot of both random directions from everybody. You know what I mean? That was just like a chaotic time. You know,
things were like, even if you didn't let it affect every part of your life, like that was kind of like me. I took 2 weeks off and got back to work, and nothing changed except there was no traffic.
It was like I Am Legend in some places.
Yeah, like I was driving, I'm like, I can drive to Seattle and there's not a soul to be found. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, not that I want to go to Seattle. It was scary, man.
So Mr. Mindflayer chimes in. He says, sorry, I couldn't hop on this time, but tuning in for support. Glad you enjoyed that little clip, even though I couldn't make it read. LOL. Shout outs to Mr. Mindflayer for the little intro card that you guys saw. This.
Oh, that was him? Oh, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah, this is all him. He did a great job.
I may need to talk to him. That's some cool shit, man.
Yeah, he had fun with it. I was like, "Oh, you don't got to do all that, man." And he's like, "No, I want to.
You can't tell me what to do."
So, yeah, I do have like some original music of mine queued up with that in a loop there. But where I'm currently at in my StreamYard career, they
won't let you use it yet.
Well, I'm pretty sure if I upgraded, it would let me do my own audio and stuff. But as of right now, with the free version, I'm not tech savvy enough to have it like capture my desktop audio. There's some like confusion with the softwares I'm using.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I can like StreamYard's using my mic right now, directly.
What kind of mic is that, by the way? Yeah,
this is an AKG. Let's see.
Oh, sweet, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Shout outs to Evele Music for
this was on your behalf and mine, actually. Did you know that he did the song for my channel?
I think so. I didn't know that at first about him, but then I started like picking up little breadcrumbs here and there. Seeing all these people work together, it's awesome.
No, he's one of the better collaborators I've met in the group so far, and I think that's what we're going to need if this kind of moniker, this group of people is going to move forward successfully, because like we don't have the same network of connections that say the mainstream people. Oh,
no, sorry, I'm adjusting my mic.
No, you're good. I was like, whoa, that sounds like an airplane taking off.
Hopefully it's not like too intense. I'm just trying to. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Oh no, you're good, man. Yeah. I was going to say though, the mainstream, they have all these networks of people put together to do certain jobs, and it's like, oh, this guy, he's a director, but that's not all he is. He knows music people, actors, cinematographers, stunt people, prop departments, things like that. And that's something we're going to need in this kind of movement if we're going to be successful going forward, because there's a lot, like you're a talented guy. In some ways I'm a talented guy, and there are a lot of talented people, but you need to be able to utilize all of these together effectively.
Yeah, in tandem. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what this whole country kind of is doing. It's just like this machine in perpetual motion, like all the balls are in the air at once. And they somehow got it so complicated that we can catch one at a time and keep it going before the next one falls. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever really thought about like all the delivery trucks driving around, or like just mail? Like the mail, holy shit. Or like the power lines just going everywhere. Like, what the hell is going on?
And then going underground, or the internet, our internet cables going all the way to the UK and then coming back.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's nutty when you think about it. Like,
yeah, we need to do that with the Iron Age, but like less janky, if possible. Yeah.
A little less corrupt. We're gonna do a little trolling.
Yeah, just a little trolling. The best trolls. We have the best trolls.
We have the best fluids.
The best. We only provide the best iron for this Iron Age.
Iron sharpens iron. I'm kind of gold, but whatever. We're moving on.
American-made iron. I'm gold, but we'll still do iron in this. Oh my god.
Yeah, he has one of the funniest voices, man. Like my mom, she loves Trump and she gets offended when I do that impression sometimes. I'm like, I love him too, don't get me wrong. It's just, but he has a really funny way of talking.
He does, and he's like really entertaining, you know.
And the thing is, like, whenever he finds someone who does like an impression of him, he thinks it's hilarious, because usually it is.
Well, he has a sense of humor.
He
seems like, I mean, for all of his flaws or whatever that people love to point out or whatever, he's still human. We all have flaws. So.
And he also wasn't, like, how do I explain? Like, he was involved in politics in some way for a while, before he ever became a politician, but he wasn't in the shark pit, so to say, for almost his entire life up until fairly recently, when you think about it.
Right. Yeah, not a career politician. Right? Yeah, unlike some families. But anyway, what were we talking about right before this? Oh, Iron Age.
Iron Age. Like collaborations and different people, and it's like I met a couple of musicians in the Iron Age, JVP Music, and then what is it, Chill Kid? He's really cool too, and then Evele, and I was like, I kind of I'm starting this YouTube channel. It's not anything yet, but I'd really like to create a theme song and get art for it. So I had the art. I'm like, I guess now I just need like a theme song, man. And then he reached out to me after. I was like, hey man, you're a cool dude. I wanna see your channel like become something. Let's get a song going for you. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll pay you. It'll be a good time. He's like, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Figure it out. And then he's like, and then it was a cool process, man. Because like I'm not a musician. I don't know how to put together sounds and music and all that jazz. Even if I could play an instrument, which I really can't.
Oh, well, you got that conch shell.
I do. I need to see if I can get one of my grandpa's nose flutes that he doesn't use anymore.
Yeah. Oh, you guys call them flutes?
He called them flutes.
He calls them flutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool.
That's so cool. Like he has these ones that come from India and a couple other parts in the Pacific, but my grandpa, he could play a nose flute on each side, 2 different tunes, and harmonize with each other, and have counter harmonies and such.
Wow.
I'm like, how do you do that? You have to do breath control for each individual side, and then try to make them line up in a meaningful way.
Oh. So, speak of the devil, Evele seems to have heard our call.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. He says, sup, y'all. Only here for a few. What a duo. I thought you said what it do.
What it do.
That works. Yeah.
Sup, Evele? How you doing, man?
He time zone stuff. You know.
For the sake of humor, we're going to refer to him as Chris, just for my own personal little giggle inside.
Chris is really good at making music for other people and contributing to the Iron Age. Honestly, not enough people know about Chris.
No, Chris. People need to know more about him, and he's going to be putting out some more stuff here, man. It's exciting.
Oh dang, midnight, huh, Evele? He said it's midnight.
Jeez, dude, go to bed. What are you doing here? No, I'm kidding. There you go, see.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm seeing movie, I I almost salivate over the Iron Age makers that are like making animation and movies and stuff, because like that's where I think we really need like that as a establishing step. Like it's cool to be able to write novels and then even adapt those into comics.
Yeah, that's I think going to be a big step.
Yeah, but the step further after that is animation, and then the step after that is live action.
Eventually, yeah, that would be. Yeah. Did you ever see Royce talking to Moonlight Productions and all of that?
I did, yeah.
Dude. That I keep up with. I check in on it every now and again. It looks incredible, man.
Yeah.
Like he's a full-on one-man filmmaker. Like, you know how hard that is. I couldn't do it. There's no way. And he's using techniques that I use for like miniature painting and set creation, and then rendering that in 3D, and then doing like painted backgrounds as well. Like it's everything. It's freaking awesome. Sick, dude.
Yeah, Evele says he was at hockey.
Oh yeah, he does that with all his hombres, and yeah, no, it's a good time.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was saying is what I think needs to happen is like one of these or multiple of these bigger dogs in the game. Like the perfect contender would probably be Rippaverse, but Rippa is pretty strongly independent, which is not a bad thing. It's just like not everybody can be that without any strings attached, completely independent. At first. But they what would happen is like he would lay the foundation like he already has with some other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what would be kind of cool to see? Like not straight to movies from Eric July, but like as Eric July gets more capital, he gets his company a little bit better set up. Make it so that he and his team can help people produce their own comics. Right. And then they could handle the shipping and printing, like make their own full, like turn part of the company into that, because that would be like, because there are a lot of really talented writers out there or artists, and to combine talents and then create something as substantial and expensive to create as a comic book takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so if there was an apparatus to kind of help facilitate that would be.
Well, Eric comes from a music background, and
he was in a metal band, wasn't
he? Yeah, and he kind of comes from the same wing of music as me. Like his band was bigger and stuff, and like.
Did any chance you guys ever like played the same shows or anything, or?
No, I think as I was tapering down, he was like kind of tapering up.
It was a missed ships in the night kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit. And his band was much bigger than mine. You know what I mean? Like ours was very much always indie. You know what I mean? We turned down a couple labels, but like, in hindsight, it would have got our foot in the door just somewhere. Even if it's a bad deal, you can always write more songs. But we're young kids. We're just like, no, we want this deal.
We're going to be authentic, man. We're going to do what we want.
We're not going to sell out. We're going to be true to music, bro.
Here's $1 million. Here's $1 million. Sold. I'll wear those balloon pants. It doesn't matter. Let's go.
I will cut my nipple off like an Unsullied for $1 million.
Oh, bro. For me to do that, that's an ordeal, man. I'd bleed out. These things are so big.
They're like, oh no, yeah, You're like, I'll do it, but you need to have like a doctor
close by, like right there.
Extra blood bags. I'm getting a message from the wifey here. Bear with me.
Don't worry, I can hear her.
Yeah. Okay. So she is bowing out of the stream tonight, but we can still have like a good chat here, me and you.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
But yeah, what were we talking about? Iron Age?
Iron Age, music, you and Air July, like you were
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
going
yeah.
down as he was coming up.
Yeah. So what I was, my whole point with that is like he has like this music background, so he understands like the power of like being discovered and like signing people, and stuff.
Marketing, the business side,
Yeah.
it kind of something that's been missing a little bit from the Iron Age as a whole. Like not wholly. Like you have Eric July, but he's only like I'd consider Shadiversity Iron Age, like because he
Me
created
too.
his own. Yeah, he self-published his own book. He is
Yep.
made a short film. He's looking into getting it turned into a real film here soon, and
What,
a
really?
lot. Oh yeah, no, that like check his channel. Like it's kind of buried for some reason, but like there's stuff about the short film and building props. Like you get to see the actors and such. It's
like
solid.
a live action standalone story.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a little like they're adapting a scene for kind of short film they were going to use to basically sell bigger producers on the actual film.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, like a pitch.
Yeah, basically.
Real quick, Evele says he still feels like he's playing my song wrong, but that's a little inside joke. Some people struggle to work on the camera. Not us two. Camera loves us.
There you go.
And also he says, thanks for making content for me to eat.
There you go, brother. Thanks for making music to make my content better, man.
Yeah, dude, for real. You're you're an inspiration, Evelyn. For real.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. He's a really solid dude. He's maintained his kind of morals in life, and he's maintained his creative attempts despite life kind of bearing down on him on occasion.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
Yeah, and just genuinely good dude.
Yeah, for certain.
So yeah, I think what's going to happen is someone like Rippaverse could definitely make like some sort of company to find new talent. They just need to get enough profit initially, I think.
Yeah, and they kind of like, even to start the make the company the size it is now, they made a lot of money with that first issue and that first kind of campaign. Whoever like put together all the marketing and when they did such a tremendous job. They had that little animated kind of port like marketing for the issue 2 and beautiful thing to see, man.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, I consider Shad part of the Iron Age as well. Like he's got his own, like basically any of those dudes with their own comic. Like even I know this whole topic of hate watchers and stuff has been like a hot topic lately or whatever. Me personally,
we could talk about that. What's your opinion on that?
Well, like me personally, even some of those dudes who just like are talking about that stuff all the time and not actually creating their own like universe or novel or whatever,
or not promoting other people who do, kind of thing.
Right. They're still, they're still doing something. They're providing like their own thing. You know what I mean?
I understand the frustration of people. Like all you do is like promote, like talk about things you don't like, and that's like that. You need to do more than that. And I'm like, on one hand, I kind of understand it, but we were all like, I think Royce kind of hit on the head in certain parts of his kind of rant about it. Like we all were there at one point. Like there was like after The Last Jedi, I fell off the deep end of like mainstream media, man. That was the cutoff point for me. It freaking broke me. I hate that movie more than any movie that's ever been made.
I remember. Okay, so Last Jedi, that was the first one.
No, that was episode 8. They did episode 7, which was Force Awakens in 2015 or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I remember Force Awakens got me excited a little bit. It was kind of cool.
Like there were problems with it, but I'm like, But I think the truth of it wasn't as bad as some people said, but a lot of it, how it would be perceived would be based on how the following films performed and built on what they did in that movie, because it very much felt like a setup movie. It was like a slight rehash of A New Hope, with some new elements, and it's like, well, let's see how cool those new elements are served in the upcoming films.
Right.
And like then they had,
yeah, and it's like rehashing old ideas and trying to infuse new ones at the same time, and it worked in some areas and didn't really in others. And,
well, like what about you? Like, when did you kind of become disenfranchised with mainstream kind of stuff?
Let's see. It was kind of a slow burn, and I kept trying to give it chances. A pretty eye-opening moment where people were just like, I noticed we're really starting to get sick of it, was like Game of Thrones. Because I remember when I was like starting to get into Game of Thrones, there was already people who wrote it off completely because it was already diverging so far from the source material.
It kind of followed the show trajectory of Dexter. Did you ever see Dexter?
Not the end.
Oh, well, like seasons 1 through 4, it just like season 1's really good. It just got better. Season 4, it's like the peak of the show.
That's what I saw. 4.
Mm-hmm.
4.
That's like, you picked the right place to stop. And then like the Game of Thrones did the same thing. It's like season 5, it's like, oh, this is kind of different. I mean, it's still good, but whatever. Yeah. Season 6 is like, I'm not sure what they're really doing, but I'm like, I've gone this far. Let's keep going. 7, I didn't think it could get worse. And then 8, I want to throw myself off a bridge. It's a good time.
Yeah. It's just like that last season. It's just like, wow, so blatant. And real quick, A.S. Brunert says, I only became aware of all this nonsense about a year ago with Rings of Power. That's another watershed moment.
I think for a lot of people it was. Like for me, I remember it was a slow burn, like you were saying, but for me there were 2 specific movies that really made it dawn on me.
Yeah.
They're the 2 most disappointing films I've ever seen in theaters. Not the worst films I've seen in theaters, but the most disappointing. And that would be Batman v Superman and The Last Jedi.
Yeah. I never saw Batman v Superman.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You saved yourself. It's like Henry Cavill, the actor, as he is in real life, is more like Superman than the way Zack Snyder decided to portray him in universe.
Yeah. I the whole Snyderverse and everything, it's like you can just tell there's like this thing going on with like movies and stories. It's just kind of like obvious to even normal people, you know what I mean? And at this point, like I remember asking people like, so what'd you think of that last Star Wars movie? What'd you think? You know, and I already know the problems with it, and I'm just like curious, and they're like, oh, I liked it, you know, and then you can tell that they're just like trying to tell themselves that they liked it.
It's like, well, what did you like about it? Well, I mean, they had some cool fights. There was that one scene where she blasted through the ship with the other ship.
Yeah, or like I kind of just like the ideas, or like I like the way they made it. Like these general compliments, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Like front of the DVD box at the rental store, like 2 thumbs up. It's a wild ride.
It's a movie of a movie.
That sure is a movie.
Yes. Yeah. So Evelay was wondering if was his book any good? Shad, I'm guessing, is who he means.
If you're talking about Shadversity.
Yeah. I haven't read it, but I
have read it. I think if you have Christian belief and if you have faith, I think there's a couple things in the book that are going to really stand out as profound in a novel. Really? Things you haven't seen in modern day or even older fantasy almost ever. It'd be kind of like if C.S. Lewis had never written for fantasy and then suddenly those books were released today, kind of thing. Like, books aren't perfect, but I think it had something profound to say in regards to redemption, forgiveness, and the main basic question was enough to overshadow some of the flaws for me. There were some flaws, but a certain other member of the community that I will not mention, but I do disagree with heavily.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some private conversations, and we do not agree on almost anything. I'm not sure exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. This community is it's filled with a lot of positive people. It's like you and I'm sure there's things that we've seen, like music or books or stories. It's like, meh, that was fine, whatever. Maybe it wasn't for me, or just wasn't to my taste, or maybe there are just some genuine flaws that I couldn't get past. And that's bound to happen with any story, especially in the indie sphere where people are still getting their sea legs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have trouble respecting the opinion of someone who just needlessly shits on the work of his fellow creators without any constructive aspect.
So yeah, you know what I mean? It's one thing to needlessly shit on like Disney when they're needlessly shitting on us.
Yeah.
But like to take jabs at your fellow creators. Like I've heard people talk about this before. It's like called scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
They think there's not enough to go around. Like there's only a limited number of fans or something. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure most people are literate. I mean,
well, that like let's use an example. You had your metal band. Let's pretend that you guys were still going up and things were going well, and then suddenly Eric July's band comes in.
Yeah,
and they're also doing well. It's like, son of a bitch, we have to steal his fans, or they have to steal your fans. It's like,
right.
Nope, I like Dawkins and I like Beast in Black.
Exactly. People can like two songs.
You can like different groups for different reasons, even within the same kind of competitive space.
And Kahuna, what's funny about this is like, similar bands, our fans might be the same. We can play a show together.
You got some ASMR going on there, boy.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though? Like, if people reach the scarcity and just went for like the community.
Yeah, for
now
sure.
We're playing shows together and sharing fans, and then like making more noise. Overall.
For sure. So. It's like, and it's kind of like, and most of the people in this group, in this kind of community of Iron Agers, are more collaborative. They're good people. They're like, hell yeah, I wrote this cool book. They wrote a book. I don't know if it's good or if it's the same kind of thing, but like, yeah, let's give him a shot. Let's see how it goes. Maybe we could work together. It's like, I'll make him a song. He'll write a book. He'll review some of my music. He'll write something for her. She'll edit something for him. And you have this beautiful kind of network of things going back and forth. It's not perfect, but we're getting better. Right. It's like, I'm going to shout out someone right now, Maji-chan, if you've seen her chat and stuff. She's not super vocal. She'll be on the live stream sometimes, but she wrote a 60,000 word story for our prank novel that we decided to do on Royce like over a year ago.
The Shalar.
Yep. And like she's like, all right, I think it's ready. I'll send it out to a couple betas. I'm one of the betas, and I read through it and I pointed out a couple things that maybe could be different, or she should be more expressive in her writing in certain ways. And at first she was all upset about it. I'm like, no, this is there's a lot going on here. This is going to be a really good story when we're done. So I sent her an example of like how I would have written it, and it was pretty decent. It was fine. And then she sent me back that same section rewritten, and it was gorgeous.
Right.
It was like not 2 times better. It was like 5, 6, 10 times better.
And that's the actual margin that happens that people don't realize. Like, dude, I just dug out some old notes from my full length. That was done when I joined Twitter again. Like I have it just sitting here. I dug out some old notes because I plan on like rewriting the beginning and stuff, and like I'm just reading through it. And, like,
excuse me.
Oh, you're good. And I'm just like, man, I'm like remembering the story, and I'm looking at these notes I made, and I'm just like, dude, this is gonna be so crazy. And I started getting like new ideas, and then
that's how it works. You like rekindle the fire, and it's like, I have so much more I can give this now. This is a seed that I've left. I haven't given as much attention as it deserves, but there's so much here that can be added now that I've given it some time. and it's a cool thing, man.
Oh yeah, for real.
But like,
AS Bruner,
yeah.
real quick. He says, it better be published soon. I'm saving a member chat for when it comes on the Wednesday stream. I'm assuming he means Shalar.
He must. We're working on it. It's because originally it was just going to be like one thing. Each person was limited to 20,000 words. Didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
So we might do 2 volumes of it. Like I've written a little bit for it too, but it's pretty like what I was writing for it was pretty far out there. So maybe I'll relegate that to the second volume.
Yeah. And on the subject of collabing and stuff, real quick, we'll toss Evelyn in here again.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Everyone here feels so genuine. It's awesome. No one feels like they're just using people as stepping stools. Everyone's so freaking supportive and awesome. It's great.
You know what that deserves?
An applause.
Woo!
I have to be quiet because the baby's asleep, and you know this will actually probably be just a quick stream.
Oh yeah, no, that's all good, man. Yeah, you got the wife, you got the kid, the whole thing, man.
But this is like there's some surprising energy here, and I think I'm gonna want to have you back for to have the full time.
Oh yeah, man. Like we can plan it. We can pre-plan a couple subjects, but like you and I kind of talked about earlier, it was like, yeah, we're kind of free flow. We let it go where it's going to naturally go. But I don't know. There's still like some cool subjects we can talk about. Like we can talk. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like we're pretty naturally we're able to talk here. So
for sure. It's like, you know what's annoying on streams? Like I'll watch it back later, like any streams I'm on sometimes, just to see how it went and get like the viewer perspective on it. It's like something is wrong with my voice. Like I have a major lisp thing going on.
It's your voice. It's just like everybody has their own voice, you know. I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah. It was weird hearing myself sing for the first time, for example. So
yeah. So I have a question. So when you're performing, do you have any idea how well you're doing? Can you hear yourself at all, or are you just hoping for the best?
So everybody can. There's a little trick here. Everybody can hear themselves if you ironically, you just plug your ears. So you can sing, and then just like literally plug your ears. You could try it whenever, but you actually hear yourself because it like traps the sound in there, the vibrations of your throat and stuff.
I think I could imagine that. It's just I've done like the whole karaoke thing and I couldn't tell how badly it was. It was pretty bad, but
that's why you see people like they're like belting it out and they're like like they got their finger in their ear, you know.
Like,
because they're trying to hear themselves, you know.
Or you could be like the guy from Hinder, just like retarded T-Rex.
Oh god. The T-Rex.
Yeah. It's a good time, man.
If you're familiar with how whales evolved, so they used to be wolves, and then they evolved into whales. So like people used to think that they were just always in the ocean or whatever, but they actually crawled out of the ocean, evolved into like wolves, and like everything that those are, and then evolved back into whales. So they actually have ears. But they're covered
do have ears.
They're covered by like skin.
Yeah.
So how they hear is their jaw vibrating.
Yeah. No, I've been in the water when they make their sounds, and it's
wow,
dude. I think that like when you think of like existential or like cosmic horror, being in the water when a large whale makes a sound on purpose it's scary shit.
Is it seriously like an old one swimming by? You're just
like it's like you hear like this clicking. It's like a piece of metal under pressure, like popping all of a sudden. It's kind of like that. And like a buddy of mine, he swims with whales like professionally. It's what he used to do for like 5 or 6 years. And he's like, yep, certain whales we don't approach when they're in the water, because if they do that hard enough, it'll turn your organs into mush. It's happened.
Wow.
I'm like, I did not know that.
A sound-based attack.
Pretty much, man. It's like we don't need to go to sci-fi. We can just go in the water.
Yeah, like as soon as you see that whale tap 2 blue mana, you're just like, oh, here we go. Here comes the counter spell. He's got me.
Absolutely. So I have a question a little bit. I like music related question just because like that's kind of one of your areas of expertise. You lucky fuck, you know how to do a lot of stuff. But so what I like metal, but with metal specifically, I can only go like so hardcore before I'm suddenly less. It doesn't quite hit me as hard. Like when you like I like growly vocals, but I like that thrown in there. I don't like black metal or death metal where it's kind of like the entirety of the music, like vocally. I like it to be a little more melodic. I like there to be a little more symphonic kind of sound to it. And so what is the appeal for you with like kind of the heavier side of metal? Like what do you think really draws people to it so much?
So the first thing you got to do is define heavy. And we'll, Evele has a question for you, so I'll be quick. I'll be quick because it's like a different topic.
Go for it.
I'll finish my thing quick here first. So the definition of heavy, basically, some people regard it as like slow, chunky, deep, low,
like deep chest kind of.
Yeah, like rhythmic driving, right? And then others view it as like fast, complicated, extremely skillful, like
speed metal kind of
like shredding. Oh, this is so fucking heavy right now. Like listen to him shred. He's just going crazy. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. Listen to how technical this is. It's like, yeah, that's fast and technical, but I wouldn't exactly call that heavy. I would actually, it feels the opposite to me. It feels very technical, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to talk heavy, I feel like it needs to sound and feel heavy. So that's where
it needs to sound like oppressive.
Yeah, like it's hitting you, like with each like beat. It's just like you know, like just hitting you.
Yeah.
And that's so I guess like the direction of heavy I go is more like a mood setter, if that makes sense. Like it's setting a heavy mood,
like a little more atmospheric.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Like I can get down with that, but like like when I like the vocals to be something I can understand a little bit. Like when like throw a growl in here and there, kind of like Accept does. It's like they'll get all kind of like that. But if it's like all I'm like
the whole time.
You lost me somewhere along the way. It's like I'm sure people like it for whatever reason they do. It just I'm trying to understand maybe why my appeal for metal kind of stops when you get to a certain point there.
So there is something to be said about like the repetition of like just doing all screaming the whole time. You got to keep in mind, screaming is, even though there's, I'll just simplify it to like 3 tones or even 2, right? You're doing highs or lows, right? Just to really simplify it. So even though there is tones, it's an atonal scream. One is just high and one is just low, if that makes sense. It's actually rhythm. It's actually rhythm based. So it's actually like rap. It's the same reason people can't just like listen to rap where they're just like syllables after syllables after syllables with no singing. And it's just basically the shredding metal equivalent of rap. Some people can't listen to that. I personally love it. Like that choppery fast, like Yellow Wolf, Tech 9.
Okay, yeah.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Obviously Tech throws like choruses and stuff, and Yellow Wolf too.
I think that's kind of the key. Like if you gotta break, you have to have, it's kind of like in writing too, actually. like if you have a sad story, if it's all tragic and sad, it loses its impact. You have to have good things or happy things or hope. If you don't have hope, the tragedy doesn't hit the same way.
And I will say the best songs and like my favorite songs are the ones that are heavy and then go to that like melodic place, like that they go into that chorus, because you need it. It's like about setting up. Evele said this. It's about the energy. It's about setting up that energy and that tension, and then relieving 100%. Relieving it in a smart way. That's the whole point of dubstep. Dubstep is extremely metal. It's extremely metal.
It's fast. It's speedy. It's like it's like beat blasting all the way through. It's
building tension, and then just releasing it like a breakdown. Like a breakdown.
Actually, Chill Kid is really good at that in his kind of music. He uses like synthesizers and such, and then like partway through the song, either maybe in the first third or second or like third beginning of the third part of it, it'll like slow down a little bit and become a little pretty, like nice and pretty and kind of low grade, and then it'll build back up before the drop again. And it's like that drop, you live for that drop.
Dude, Chill Kid is really good at like that build up drop stuff. I've been trying to get him to punch with those drops. Get mean with it. Like you gotta slap people with it. Like you gotta show them you're serious with that drop. That's when you're striking. You're like that's the roundhouse kick.
Actually, I think that I was thinking about it the other way. I think that's one of the reasons Beast in Black is becoming one of my favorite bands, because they know how to move energy throughout the song really, really well. It's like you'll have that melodic, like kind of quiet moment, and then it'll get quieter and quieter. The drums and the guitars will slow down, and then they hit you with that wall of sound all of a sudden, and it hits every time, man.
And there's something to be said about overproduction sometimes, but like overall, there's weaknesses to screaming the whole time. Typically, bands that do it have shorter song lengths because of that.
Yeah, you get like 2 to 4 minutes. You don't really want to go longer than that.
Right, and they'll like cap like 3 will be the longest that they have.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Because they don't have choruses. They're just screaming the whole time. It's breakdown into build up, into breakdown, into verse, into breakdown. You know what I mean? They're dividing everything, and it's before you know it, 2 minutes flies by, and then you just go into the next song, and it's more fucking awesome. Those bands are awesome live. That's what they're for. I would say if you're losing steam on like just like the full heavy the whole time, maybe take note of a couple songs that sound good for you there. But overall, it just might be like a band thing, like the actual band.
It could be like even like. I wasn't a metal fan when I was growing up. Like that developed as I got older, and it's like it's kind of like anime too. Like it was by degrees. I didn't watch Ura in High School Host Club right away. I built up to that show, but
So you can't go right into it.
Yeah, don't. What was Evele's question? You mentioned he had a question.
Okay, so difference of heavy and all that. I hope I helped. I mean, I could go on and on about that. But Evele was saying, let me pull it up here real quick, Kahuna. Favorite Iron Ages books you've read?
That's hard. I haven't read as
I know you read a ton.
I do. I haven't read as many as I would like. Yours is going to be in the next kind of section that I do. I'm gonna have to do like some sort of deciding video on how to decide on the next couple books, but I think I hate picking favorites, but like Herman P. Hunter's books are really, really good. Like The Hedge, I like the Wizard Stone is really good, but for my own taste, like the Revenant and the Tomb, I'm not positive I've read something better than that in the Iron Age.
Oh wow, is that Herman?
Yeah, it's short and it's punchy, but it's really solid. Like I'm almost done with R.H. Snow's book,
Wow.
And hers is really good too. Razor Fist I like The Long Moonlight. It's not my favorite, but the second book feels a lot more sword and sorcery than kind of noir fantasy like his first book. And his second book, it made me feel things that I did not expect to feel things very drastically in those books.
In Razor Fist?
Yeah, Death Mask, his second pulp. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, so those are probably like I hate to pick a favorite, but The Revenant and the Tomb is really, really good, man.
It's okay to have a favorite. I mean, and love everybody.
You know? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's like Black Knight, like his book. I've read 2 of his books, Star Shatter, and then Twin Sons Over Corolla, or Twin Sons of Corolla, whichever title it was.
Yeah.
And his books are really, really good. Well, they're, how do I explain this? If you can buy into the fantasy and into the worlds, you'll enjoy the ride. Are you going? I think at some points it's hard to feel the stakes. It's hard to feel like the characters are in real, genuine danger at times because of the tone that it sets.
Yeah.
But if you can buy into the fantasy of it all, it's a nice bit of escapism. I think that's where it sits best.
Yeah, he's got a nice little world worked out there.
Yeah, and then maybe his strongest point is he's really good at naming. He knows how to name things really, really well.
Oh, I got thoughts on that. If you want to have the writing stream, I've been.
Oh, dude, we need to do that.
Kahuna. I went on Iron Age nights and I talked about McDonald's.
You did. I remember that.
I did. I'm like, I know some stuff, but these people don't even know who I am. So I'm going to be myself first. So,
well, yeah.
If you want to have the writing stream, we could pull up the master class.
We'll need to do that, man. And yeah. I need to read your book. I'm really excited to read it, by the way.
Just keep in mind, every sentence you read, you can read it again. And there's a lot of stuff hidden in there.
Just a lot of subtext, so it's good for a reread.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was pulp until I listened to Razor Fist talk about some stuff a little bit, like the true definition of pulp and stuff. It makes sense. Like, think about orange juice; it has all that extra meat in there.
And you can't see it at first. It's all. Yep. Yeah, you gotta really get into it first. It's good shit.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was a pulp writer, but I have a 150,000 word pulp novel. It's even first person. It's even first person.
Oh, bro! I don't love first person for every book, but then my favorite book series of all time right now has been for like 5 or 6 years. It's in first person. And it even breaks rules of the first person thing, because like the first person you're. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think mine's weird too, but go on.
Well, like Red Rising, it's my favorite fiction series of all time right now. It's first book is kind of like Space Hunger Games a little bit, but better. And then second book is my favorite fiction novel of all time. Period. So full stop. Nice. Like it like first book I think is good and it gets better when you read the others, but the second book is about 8 or 9 times better than that first novel.
Yeah. Wow.
Just every single thing is perfect. Every name, anyway.
And but like approaching tenfold, that's a pretty good achievement.
It's substantial, man. I read the first book and I bought the second book a day and a half later, and I read it without stopping right away. And then because of how that second novel ended, I did not pick up the third book for 2 months.
Oh wow!
I've never been hit by an ending of a story unfinished harder than that story.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment to the writer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Pierce Brown, if he had ended it with the second book, there's a scene where he could have ended it, and it would have been a disappointing but still very satisfying story, and it'd probably still be my favorite.
Yeah.
But he went on, and it continued to improve and get better.
That's amazing. It's hard to do. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. To carry that momentum over.
Oh, well, yeah. But some of the people are so fast. Like some people write or do music or projects so fast. Like the first book he wrote in 2 months.
Wow.
And then he published it.
That's my first book too.
Like I said, some of you people. Oh nope! Hey, don't fall. You almost fell over, my friend. There we go.
I'm still good. I'm still safe.
Yeah.
There we go. Some of
some of you people are just really talented and do things very fast. Like it took me a while to figure out how to make a thumbnail for a video.
Dude, I still don't know how to do that. This YouTube channel is going to get an overhaul at some point where all these videos are going to get thumbnails and renamed and stuff and numbered, but I'm just backlogging for now, you know.
Well, I'm still figuring some things out, but having art in place really creates a visual cohesion.
Yeah.
Like if you ever on your computer and you decide to watch one of my dumb videos for some reason, look at the channel page. Like, look at the banner, look at the profile pic, and then look at some of the ending and beginnings of some of my videos. You'll see some of the art that was done, and it's really good, man. And again, that's like we're getting hit by Neutron Bohr and his beautiful freaking artwork. Son of a bitch,
dude. Fear the boar.
Yeah,
no, all hail the boar.
He's the Irishman from hell with a paintbrush, man. He's cool.
So let's catch up on the chat real quick.
Yeah, let's check it out.
A.S. Bruner.
Yes.
The names in his stories are very particular, and I agree.
Yeah. And his uncle has written a story as well, which I'm almost finished with. The Space Between. It came up on one of the comic shop Wednesdays, and it's about the 100-year-old woman and the 100-year-old store with a 100-year-old door.
That's cool.
It's very like Christian fiction. Like it's to kind of a Ted Decker level of Christian fiction, but if you're into that, it's a good story, man. I really enjoy it so far.
So here's the thing, like all things, you're talking about. There's you can't just take heavy all the time in your music. A lot of people use Christian as a but, like they're a Christian band, but yeah. It's the same idea where you can have too much of that. So I'll tell you right now, though, there's no better lyricists in metal than Christians. Because they're dead sober and they are talking to God and believe in something.
They already read language different than most people and deeper and more impactful automatically. So
100-year-old woman in a 100-year-old store with a 100-year-old door. Already sounds unique.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Like I'm reading, I'm like, this is for sure different.
Yeah,
and it's like, so wait, I've never asked you, if you don't mind, are you Christian? Like you have faith, correct? Or no?
I have my own. I've developed my own personal relationship with whatever the universe or higher power is and stuff, but I wouldn't exactly call myself any sort of faith. I don't because then that kind of categorizes you.
Well, yeah, it's like you put God in the box, then you put yourself in a box, and everything's in a box, and that's while there are truths, there are things that are 100% true. I used to get pissed off because there are so many denominations of Christian and faith and such. And then I got older. I'm like, God is the same, but he made all people unique. And that's why there are so many different kind of denominations, and because there's so many different kinds of people in the world. And exactly. I think that's a beautiful thing when you think about it.
Yeah. And they're going to interpret everything differently. So
For sure.
It's like the Iron Age, man. You can have a good idea, creating culture, right? For the next generation. Royce is talking about his kids and his grandkids, reading this stuff. But, you eventually get to a corporatized level where somebody just dominates fully. And you need this diverse group of people to have that counterbalance to rise up, that Martin Luther to start nailing things, when people anyway, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I do, man. It's like there's a friend of mine, Sybil, or TSBOL. You'll see him like he's on the guild and such.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best critique partner I've ever encountered.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also he's my favorite unpublished writer so far, because I've read 2 of his books, and I'm working on a 3rd right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Yep, I think I won't try to do it under the banner of the Iron Age, because my stories are so different and kind of out there, and especially one of them is pretty spicy." And he's like, and I was asking him like, "Well, why? It's good stuff, and you're part of the group. I think you should." He's like, "Well, no, because Royce is talking about how it's for like the kids and such." I'm like, "Yeah, that's true. We do need stories for the kids, like right now. But someday those kids are going to be not kids anymore, and they're going to need these other stories." Yeah. And I think some people like him and you and other people in our group have stories that are not for children, but will be necessary at some point in their life and in their future. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really important thing to consider as well.
Right. And I was rereading mine, and Star Wars has worse stuff than me. Like, sure, I might
use
get like
use a higher bar.
Yeah. Like literally, Star Wars, they got people's heads getting cut off and stuff. So like, I don't know. I'm not doing anything that like Lord of the Rings isn't doing. You know, I just describe it poetically for symbolism reasons. You know, and like, I don't know, comparing a sword being stabbed through somebody's throat as like a flower blooming, and like the sword is sprouting from their neck. You know what I mean? It's like a moment of beauty captured in a moment of evil. Yeah. Horror.
Evil's a better word, I think.
Yeah. Violence.
Because maybe the violence itself is not evil, but things leading up to it maybe were the people being subject to the whims of evil men in charge of them and their own circumstance. It's like I would hate to kill someone, but I wouldn't hesitate to do it if I had to.
Exactly.
Same kind of thing. In Minecraft.
Yeah. In Minecraft, if somebody's invading your base in your village in Minecraft. So the reason I left this on screen here, the names of stories or of characters, sorry. Of things in general. Yeah. It is very important. And coming up with a bank of names is very helpful for authors to have. Personally, I like to take real words that mean stuff and then start looking them up in different languages, and then just start like building my names of stuff. And that makes me feel better, because then I know all my names technically mean something. So like literally I'm foreshadowing things just with the made up names of my character. You know what I mean? And the other thing about first person perspective, A.S. Brunner says there has to be a reason for it, for first person, which I agree. And I'll add that, let's see, right here, he says his book is an autobiography found by a professor in modern day. So that's the reason for his first person perspective. Now, I'll say this is spot on, because first person for the sake of it feels pointless.
It depends on the purpose. You see it a lot. You see first person.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. You see first person perspective a lot more in young adult fiction, because it has a lot more to do with how the character is feeling. The young adult main characters are often more introspective, and they spend a lot of time in their own head. Good examples of that would be like Brandon Sanderson's what was Skyward series. I think he's almost done with the 4th book in that one. And then a whole litany, a whole tsunami's worth of terrible ones about edgy teenagers with no purpose, whining about things that don't matter, and that's why it's for teenagers and not for us. But
that's what he'll say. I could go on and on about that, but we're past the hour mark here.
Okay, yeah. No, you're all good, man. You're all good.
We'll have a lot more streams in the future, though.
Oh, for sure, brother. I appreciate it. And tell your wife it's my fault. Yeah, I kept you on too long.
You're good. Good conversations. Good conversation. So
absolutely, man.
Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where you can be found?
Okay, my exact location is... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter, The Ultimate Kahuna. Then you can find me on YouTube, The Ultimate Kahuna. I make videos about Hawaii, writing, stories, Iron Age, music, and just general vlog stuff, and then funny skits. So, yeah, that's where you can find me.
Heck yeah, and I just uploaded the title of the video, so that's in the details. So
sweet.
Good night, Evele, and good night, AS Bruner. You can find me on Twitter at AndyAsFuck with a V. I'm probably going to be AC Pritchard in the future when I feel like losing that blue check mark for a little bit. But, yeah, I'm currently working on comics. I got some cool stuff in the works in the background, doing some music stuff. I'm about to rewrite the beginning of my full length and send it off to Daniel P. Riley for editing. And yeah, like I said, that's 150,000 words. So hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to split that into multiple books or release it as a chunker.
For Iron Age, fiction is usually short, but 150,000 words is not long for normal publishing.
Right.
So I guess it just depends. If it makes, like, if the story feels like it needs to be split into two parts, then good. But if not, it could feel like a first book doesn't have a full story arc, and then that leaves too much action into the second book. So I guess it just depends on how that goes for you.
If I split it, I would definitely go into more detail on a lot of stuff in both halves.
So, yeah, for sure.
Like, this is definitely the type of story where I could write 3 books just on the first act, because they're lost at sea. So I could write 3 books about that. Like,
for sure.
But anyway, you have a good night, brother.
Woo!
And everybody else, thanks for watching, and cheers.
Peace out, everyone.